Welcome to another episode of The Village Show with me, Check the Sound Sangoma. This is episode 37. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Hope you're having a beautiful Monday. We at The Village Show, we're having a beautiful Monday. That's why we're bringing you a very, very nice and jam-packed show today. It's going to be a nice show. We're going to be taking you guys on a ride. Starting with our topic of the week, which we're going to talking about, political tension in South Africa, going through political tension. Are people in South Africa getting tired with the current government? What's going on? Are people becoming more conscious of politics and understanding more about politics? On the video appreciation, we have a song by Vsinare and Tention with the song Silo. That's going to be the video that we're going to be appreciating on the Village Show today. And as we get through the show, we're going to have our music appreciation. We're going to be appreciating a song by Lordkez. That's going to be the song we're going to be appreciating there. On our Kasi Superhero today, I have one of my, this is definitely one of my, childhood heroes, Mr. Lucas Radebe, who's a football legend in South Africa. Not only just in South Africa, but even overseas. That's the guy we're going to be appreciating, or our Kasi Superhero. In our trailer watch, we're going to be watching a trailer, Inumber, which is on Netflix. That's the trailer that we're going to be watching with you guys. And that's basically going to be our show. Oh, before we forget, on what's the hustle, we're going to be looking at medical marijuana. How is medical marijuana shaping South Africa? And some of the things that I've experienced since the bill, of marijuana or Canibis has been passed in South Africa. That's going to be our show today. Without any further ado, let's get to it. Carry on the show. Like I told you on the music appreciation today, we got a song, by Vsinare with Tention, with Silo. That's a dope song, very, very emotional song. And Pitori boys telling their stories. Without me speaking a lot, let's get to the song.
Love yourself.
For hour ya 40 sa tlhote nke bula buka ngwala maikutlo saka ke lotsa lefatshe mara we tlhoko tlisa botlhoko ka sepexi a ke na le tshoko re ke ba khotle ke ka moduma magoma mo ka tiputsisa modimo wa antima leuma mamazala ne ke re ka stuka ka dibala masenke a rutla ke le diroto ge ona pula o re wa ke pala we khutsa fetso tlotho ma ya dithuto a ke nya go wa parasuto nya go berekela ke maburu lo ro ka re o tla go mikuku ampore ke thuto se thunya.
Eish Agarubala mabane ke le anxious masiba Dibati di ntshetse morao di nya go nthibela ditsela phatlo tse no ka mohare ntjaka ke nya go feta ke bile patient sebaka no so no re yon fit I'm always about it, I'm ready to fight for my life, so I roll up my sleeve. I just been thinking about it too much, it's depriving me of my sleep. Mama zala le naganyaka bophelo bo bo bopile. Tlale re tla ditse naga fene turn me to a kid. Lingo re kreya go butch, mafoko a fetoga maroom. modimo ka itse wa mpona one day ditene tlo fetwa lehum polotiki ke dagile that mapara ba sata ba lwela ditulo these days when I work I don't look at the weather no more ta bona ka pool my character started switching a little bit after Revolo got brewed we were just running around in the blocks kasi fetugile loot on the move, we do it like ninjas. Naruto, muchin and gun, I'm ready to shoot. I'm telling myself that I'm not gonna lose.
Fere kunjani? Oyi, hola. Fere, tsala lena nemba futhi.
Ke me o robotse ke tse feng man.
A re tsene.
Ne.
E lata le fifila mathomo le important ba futhi.
O tsena o tshwere tate.
A nentse ke metse mfana go tla ka back fela.
O ke story.
Ya ke kile boss Ash wa bona. Ya. Boy, o re mo. One love. Boy. Awe ba futhi.
Very dope song right there, so keeping to the vibe with them raps, beautiful song right there. Everything about the song is on point, we appreciate that music. Please make sure that you go and engage with more of Vsinare's music and Merchant music as they're releasing some really, really dope music, some beautiful things that are coming from there. As we cruise through with the show on the topic of the week, like we told today, we're going to be talking about political tension. Is South Africa going through political tension with what's happening in South Africa and what I have actually noticed, or actually experienced in the last week. So by, starting this story, I, want to start by just telling a story that happened a few weeks back. I was taking a walk to go to the garage to actually go buy some snacks. I go to the garage. It was actually sometime late. I think it was around 10, probably 11 at night. I just came back from studio. And I wanted to finish something. So I went to the store to actually get something, which was the garage. So when I got there was these three gentlemen who was wearing ANC regalia, like they were really wearing like the ANC regalia, like not the one that you just get for free, I think the one that you get if you're a member or something. And they were just buying some ice and some juices and stuff like that. And there was this guy who was actually behind me, who was buying, I don't even know, I'm not sure what he was buying, but the guy, as soon as he saw those guys, he started talking about, you should be ashamed for wearing that regalia when we have load shedding. So he said that. The guys at the front, the other guy actually laughed it off while he was paying for his thing. And then, the other guy kind of like, yo, what did you say? And it's like, yo, I said you must be ashamed if you're wearing that. You know what I mean? So I thought maybe this is just going to be another one of those where people are going to go head to head in terms of just talking. It started escalating. I could see that the guy behind me was actually really pissed about this. He actually stepped in front of me and started talking to those guys and be like, yo, is there something that you want to do? Like already we're going full force, we want to fight. It actually ended up in a fight. There were securities that got called, those two guys from the other side were actually jumping the other guy for something like that. So it actually made me think when I was walking back, like, damn, are we in that a point where in South Africa where we speaking about our political differences can actually lead to a fight? Are we really that frustrated with our politics or our government that it's actually leading to all of these differences that are actually ending up in a fight? And when I actually did my research, I found out this is not a first occurrence. People have been going through that. And even for me, that was not actually a first occurrence. The first occurrence didn't actually lead to a fight, but it was actually a conversation that was really amplified where people actually could could hear, and it was actually getting emotional for people speaking their sides and why things are like that. And some of this conversation I've been having with the youth, and you can see their frustration. If you look at the economy is failing. There's nothing in this government right now that's actually going the way it's supposed to go. So I feel like people are getting to a point where they're fed up and they're trying to figure out how can this be changed? What is the solution when it comes to this? And you gotta understand, with things like this, politics is gonna always be in the middle of this. So I feel like there is actually tension where everybody from different sides, no matter what political party, you might be DA, EFF, you might be ANC, you might be something else. Rather than that, everybody's trying to stand for their own and trying to find the truth in what is actually the real thing, and everybody's trying to find the solution. And I feel like that's pushing people to actually start acting emotional and very vested into things like this. There's an advantage to it though, because the advantage that I see from it is I'm seeing a lot of youth who are actually really starting to partake in politics and understanding how their countries actually run, because they start realizing that most of their problems or the problems that they have, there's a way to fix them. And one of the ways to actually fix that in the big scale is if our government was really running efficiently, the youth will be going through what they're going through. So a lot of them are starting to realize that. And I feel like that's one of the things that's actually creating frustration, when they start understanding that this is actually something that can be fixed if people were really focused on actually really helping the country or taking the country to the next level, understanding that people are actually looting money or actually stealing money, more information coming out of corruption and municipals that can actually be able to function. It's actually making people pissed off. Is politics the answer? Depending on who you're talking to, you might get a different answer when it comes to that. I feel like changing our mentalities first is the first thing. Understanding that we are the government, understanding that this is ours, it will make us understand and realize and look at it differently. Understand the microeconomics of how the country is run, what it is that influences my life and what is it that doesn't influence my life. And focusing on what actually influences my life, even from the government perspective. My side, actually, for me, the government is actually people who are running the corporation of the country, the business of the country most of the time. It's them who are allocated all of this, power to actually make decisions on how the country is supposed to be run. And that has to do with a corporation. Where do you fit in the corporation? What part do you actually play in the corporation? I think teaching people to be politically inclined and actually understand politics is one of the biggest solutions. Bickering and fighting each other for a small piece or trying to understand each and every agenda, we all suffering and we know what is making us suffer. If we unite to make sure that we get rid of the common, suffering that we're going through, it's important. I think now we're going into the elections. We're probably going to be having the elections next year. I'm seeing a lot of campaigns. I'm seeing a lot of things that are being done for political motive. Some of the things might be real agenda. Some of the things that might be real things that we're dealing with, and I hope most of the people who are saying that and promising people that, if given the chance, they will be able to actually do that and actually execute the way they are, because those people are actually, representing a lot of people in the forefront. So if you think about political tension in South Africa, even in small villages, like other people who believe in other, political parties are treated differently, like other people who are believing in political parties. Fighting are breaking out between political parties, So now it's like those tribes are actually going against each other. If we really investigate the problems and we try to find out what the problems is, maybe we can come to the solution. I don't feel like fighting each other and beating each other is a solution, but I feel like it's needed. It's necessary to actually kind of like show people how serious these issues are. It's necessary for, for certain people to start recognizing, I just don't really like it when we have to fight each other, for something that both of us are actually being hurt. You check what I mean? So I feel like the solution will come with just understanding and trying to, now this is the time, we're stopping it right here. There's no any other thing we have to kind of like break down for it to rebuild. You might not believe in that, but that's facts. You have to kind of like break down if you want to rebuild something and if you want to rebuild proper. Because trying to patch it, sometimes you don't really understand how deep the damage is, or you're not willing to try to understand how deep, the damage is, and you just sugarcoating it from the outside. There's going to be a day where everything is going to collapse. So it's important for us to stay truthful and understand what the fight is for and why certain people will speak like that and why people will actually go through this political tension. It's hard to stand in front of somebody and be like, yo, I'm an ANC member and I'm recruiting to come and vote for me when ASA has been into government and people are actually blaming them for so many things going wrong. and with good reason. You check what I mean? With good reason, if you really check about all of the things that are going on, there's not really anything government run that's running properly, except maybe the parliament. Even the parliament is disrupted. So like I was saying, it's very, very important for us to actually recognize, all of these things that are happening and how it actually influences a lot of us, in our daily lives. I mean, if you're living in South Africa right now, it's kind of like a tough thing to be living in South Africa right now. It's really, you might be a very, very calm person, but, South Africa right now is stretching your limit. I wouldn't be surprised if most of the citizens of South Africa are probably, some of the most stressed citizens in the world. It's a lot that is beyond our control, or looks like it's beyond of our control, that is against us, and we're trying to fight all of that while you're trying to actually elevate and actually starting from way back. You check what I mean? From simple things like load shedding, it might seem like simple, but it's a very, very dire problem. That's a very, very big problem, and that's some of the things that are actually fueling, most of this political tension, to our education system. If you look at our education system and how it's failing, our transport system, you can mention most of this department, home affairs, all of this, are struggling. Our traffic departments, our police department are struggling to actually make sure that the citizens are actually getting what is supposed to be. And all of these things are like fuel to this political tension or this political war that's brewing. We're looking forward to the elections. We're hoping that something is going to come out of the election. But people in South Africa, I do feel like there is some sort of like political tension. Some people might want to not get involved, but those who are really getting involved are standing up, and those who are willing to defend themselves are actually standing up and defending themselves. So I just wanted to talk about that topic because in the recent days I've been seeing a lot of people who are frustrated, who most of the time, if they find something that can really attack, they would actually attack. There might be a person wearing an ANC t-shirt, or somebody who's just speaking on behalf of ANC. They might get ridiculous, or not even ANC, just being a political party right now, or being associated with a political party. There might be people who don't actually believe in that system, who are willing to attack. And most of the time it's to try extract information on how all of these things can have solution. But the way they actually do that, sometimes it might come, as like a fight. And what it is. People are passionate about where they live. They're passionate about how they live, their quality of life where they live in, which is very, very important. And like I said, that's why I believe that most of these things are like fuel to the political tension that we have. And basically that's the topic of the week right there, which is political tension. Again, seeing a lot of people fighting for their party, seeing a lot of people fighting, for change, and it's getting to a point where a lot of people are getting frustrated, and it's something that I just felt like I needed to speak about. Right. As we get through the show, this is the time where you get yourself a drink. Go get yourself some coffee if you're watching this in the morning. If you're watching this in the evening, go get yourself some snacks. Get a bathroom break as we play you some dope music. Today we have a song by Lordkez. Lordkez with the song called Holy Metronomy. It's a beautiful song, if you just want to get into your nice feels, feeling good music, beautiful vocals, the mixing and everything is crisp. This is some of the best music that I've ever had in my life, Without me speaking a lot, let's get to Lordkez.
Softest breeze caresses my skin. I can tell where your hands have been. All on my mind, all up my mind. Softest breeze caresses my skin. I can tell where your hands have been. My love, oh, oh. My love, oh. Do you remember can tell where your hands have been. My love, oh, oh. My love, oh, oh. Do you remember in September when you put your hands in mine? Your love is much too kind, and I won't let you go. No, no, not this time. Change my ways for you, leave it all behind, and pray for you, and say I do. The softest breeze caresses my skin. I can tell where your hands have been. Caresses my skin. I can tell where your hands have been. My love, oh, oh. My love, oh.
Beautiful song right there. Lordkez with a beautiful song. You know, I know you make sure that you enjoy your drink, your coffee, your water, you know, no matter what you're doing right now. And thank you very much for still tuning into the Village Show and watching and being here with me. As we get through the show on What's the Hustle today, we're going to be looking at something that some people might actually see as controversial, and some people might not even understand it. And it's something that's becoming very, very huge. I'm in Joburg right now, in around Auckland Park and the Melville area. And in the last, I'll probably say month or 2 months, I've been seeing a lot of dispensaries. When I say dispensaries, I'm talking about places where you can actually go and acquire medical marijuana. The interesting thing about this, or interesting medical cannabis, for those who might not know what marijuana is, you know, so the interesting thing about this is most of this, as much as they are operating under the license of medical, you can actually go and actually get the bud over the counter, you know. And, you know, it's about time that South Africa actually regulate and actually give access. As you know, it is legal to actually smoke marijuana and actually use it for medical purposes in South Africa. So there's gonna be a way for people to actually get it, you know. So the law has to regulate how can people who want to smoke be able to acquire, and where are the places where people can actually be able to smoke without getting bothered, and how people can transport this. So I've been seeing where I live, there's actually a lounge where people can actually be able to go and enjoy, you know, marijuana for recreational use, not only just medical use. But like I said, I've been finding a lot of dispensaries of people who are actually selling over the counter the bud and actually catering for the market of medical marijuana. So without me speaking a lot, there's actually something that I found on the internet speaking on that, which I will actually just play for you. Enjoy.
Everybody is using cannabis because it's medicinal and beneficial for your health. It is time that we fully legalized cannabis recreationally and medicinally.
The Cannabis Expo has finally hit South African shores, and of course we had to check it out. Let's take a look. Inside the venue there are so many stalls, so much to see. There are oils, there's merchandise, there is, the vape store. So there's sort of everything for everybody. Listen, you have to hang this in your house or something, but I like the purple one. I think I might buy it.
Hydroponics is traditionally a method used. You've heard that word in the news, I'm sure. Hydroponic, dagalab. Hydroponics is just a growing method of using water as your media. So that's where the name comes from. Basically, we supply everything that you could possibly need, from tents to lights to different grow media to all the different accessories involved.
Things you could do at the Cannabis Expo is
very beautiful. Some of you might be surprised why I'm playing this on What's the Hustle. I feel like this is an opportunity for a lot of entrepreneurs who've been doing this for a long time. Not only just entrepreneurs, but even farmers. Not only just farmers and people understanding the benefits, the healthy benefits of this product that Africans have been using for a long time. It's important to educate our people because this is something that's not inevitable. For farmers who are in the villages, farmers who are at home, there's actually funds and money that you can get for you to be able to get into this hustle as soon as possible, be able to grow that beautiful, nice marijuana, or cannabis that it can actually be used even for recreational use or actually even for medical use, because there's a lot of diseases that this plant can actually help, regulate if people have access to it and people are educated to it. So that's what's the hustle there, medical marijuana, or even recreational, getting into it as a hustle or even going into growing and farming. Right, as we get along with the show on our Kasi Superhero, like I said, today we have a legend, a hero. When I was growing up, this is the guy that we all wanted to be, and this is Mr. Lordkez Radebe. Lordkez Radebe was the captain of Bafana Bafana. He was the captain of Leeds United in the UK. Lordkez Radebe played in South Africa, played overseas, and he made his name as one of the most disciplined players that has ever played in the international stage. Lordkez Radebe is, respected everywhere you go in the world. Lordkez Radebe is a hero. He's one of those guys that made it. You could actually look at the guy and be like, yo, someday we're going to be there. I remember when we were young, we used to play football and everybody would want to be like Lordkez Radebe, check what I mean. We even actually just watched him playing and you wanted his playing style and just the discipline. They call him Captain, my captain, because, in his whole career of football, you could see the discipline, you could see the hard work. And today on the Village Show, we just wanted to appreciate Mr. Lordkez Radebe, to say that you are a Kasi superhero and we respect you, and all of the work you're still doing now after your retirement, all of that is respected, and we just want to give you your flowers while you're still alive. And we're just going to play something just to show you how legendary and how great Mr. Lordkez Radebe is.
Lordkez Radebe is a South African former footballer who played primarily as centre-back. He began playing in South Africa with Kaizer Chiefs before transferring to Leeds United, where he played 256 matches for the Yorkshire side. He became captain of Leeds United and also of the South African national team, most notably at World Cup 2002.
That's Lordkez Radebe right there. If you're South African, if you didn't know, now you know. There's a legend, a hero. If we're talking about football legend, that's one of the guys who has to be in the conversation. No doubt, Mr. Lordkez Radebe. Here in the Village Show, in the villages, we really appreciate you. And again, we just want to give you flowers while you're still alive. As we get to the closing of the show, on the trailer watch today, we have Inumber, which is something that's coming on Netflix. Very, very interesting on this, just showcasing the underground life in Joburg, how, the gangsters in Joburg actually do it, and the gold sale in Joburg. It's the city of gold after all. This is beautiful. Again, without me talking a lot, here's the trailer.
Awusuka madoda. Injaka khaheba. Ngonqonqo. Ndoda yempisi. Inhlehle zinye. Dwadlapha somhlaba ufuna igolide. Feleba umgodoyi sunganyo. Sakhis chile. Sakhis.
Uyabona kulalali yamaphonsi bakhona sikhaheba uqoqoqo isithoma sithathu. Ngomkhonqo kuchukuchu. Sitimela samampondo. Sitimela isidonsa mina sebusuku. Inja eqamela imphawu levutha. Utsho. Yabona xa incuka ihleka. Loo nto ibonisa uba isinyanyazo nolwabanga. Mimoya equmbile. Yabona lo. Ujonga wangikhusela ngiseyidongwane semcinci. Impisi
endlavini ndlavana le ibubisi mina awuhlafuna unye sikakwatisa le mani jo kakwatisa le mani
ingcwa yaqalwa mqondo yaqangulula uphilila fitikise kwenze piyasa
dodo wena la kibigolita mfo easy
yayazi nokubana urhata amaquke ngamamenemene amabhedengu kodwa igolide ayisangela qoka cwala
awuzweke
Thank you very much for watching. As you can see, very, very interesting series right there. I hope they make it a long series. That's one of those that I would actually just watch all the time. Thank you for Netflix for telling South African authentic stories and adding a twist and one of these edges on those stories. Thank you very much if you're still watching up until this point. Me, Chuck the Sound Sangoma, really appreciate you. I hope you have a beautiful week ahead. I hope you have a healthy and blessed week ahead. Thank you again for watching the Village Show here and Chitangani's channel. Please make sure that you subscribe. Please make sure that you share. Please make sure that you follow us on all of our social media platforms. Without you, we are nothing.
Toda na saca,